Look at that. So there's this really old school brick, red and yellow brick near me called the BF Tweed School. And it's no longer the BF Tweed School, but it says BF Tweed School in the brick. And I always wondered what it was because it says Weed School, you know, the BFT Weed School. So I used to joke around and say, ha ha ha, that's the Weed School, you know. Always walking by, like making jokes like, ha ha ha, you going to weed school today? But anyway, this is a very old brick building, and I'm looking into it because I'm trying to find other orphan schools in the area. And this school is a very old school, and there's a canal to the south of it that we're going to go look at too. It's very interesting what I found out about this building. And I've been doing a lot of research. I've been trying to find links to the Freemasons and to the orphans. So I might as well show you what I found. So this school is strange because out of all the buildings in Charlestown, there's not a lot of information about it. And there's other people who tried to research it that came up empty too. Also, here we go. It showed up in the manual of the public schools in 1900. It's a 3-story brick building, 5,000 square feet. They're saying it was built in 1900. Typical floor size is 4,000 square feet. So here's the problem. They're saying it was built in 1900, but there's pictures of the building dating back to 1890 and earlier, even earlier. In the picture of it in 1890, it looks like it's already been built. It's already been there for a long time. So I was looking for any masonry connections, and it says it was the Jesuit Center at some point after it was the BF Tweed School. Here they say it's a 2-story Georgian Revival masonry. A 2-story masonry Georgian Revival school building. Well, how come the other report says it's a 3-story building? It says here, the basement is of yellow brick and red mortar. A continuous still course of stone runs beneath the first floor windows. So what I'm trying to say is I've had enough of this, okay? I've seen other people's research. They have all the information of all the other buildings in Charlestown, everything else, but they have very little information about this. The dates don't line up. The story doesn't line up. I'm going out to check it out. Boots on the ground time. Let's go.
So here we are, people. We're on location at the Weed School. I mean, not the Weed School, the BF Tweed School. So I've been searching, researching the orphans in the schools, the orphan schools, and the whole indoctrination, the whole shebang, the whole thing. And I've been doing some digging lately, some real digging. This is where I'm at. I'm in Charlestown, and I've been looking for other potential orphan schools, anything connected to the Freemasons, teaching the orphans, brainwashing them, or any groups of Freemasons. There's the Charlestown Monument. So anyway, so I found out, all right, there's historic information about almost every building in this whole place about Charlestown, all the brick buildings. You see this all brick. This one is a monstrosity. They redid this one. They're gonna do this one over soon too. That's why I'm covering it. This is a new one right here. They recently did this over. This was an old factory type building, run down. They redid it, facaded it, made it look like a warehouse. Now it's loft apartments, loft condos. I mean, all right, here we go. Look, I'm crossing. Look at, look where I'm at. All right. So, anyways. Crossing the street. So here we are. All right, let's take a look. So this is a red and yellow brick. Let's take a look. What do we got here? Nice design. It's got like a copper trim around the roof. I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of like green around the roof, like lime rust. Let's check out that window. Oh, there it goes. All right, let's check this out. All right, there it is, BF Tweed School. So I looked up BF Tweed. I couldn't really find any connections to Freemason, but they did say that this was a Freemasonic building or Masonic design or something like that. That's the concrete they're talking about. All right, let's take a look. Look at the size of this doorway. You see that? Huge doorway. It probably went all the way up and back down. They built the steps up to the door and made it smaller. And look what they did. It looks like the sun set. It looks like the sun setting on the horizon. You see the window, the design? That's what it's supposed to look like, the sun on the flat horizon. It's level. So look how big that doorway is. They made it smaller for people. Okay, let's walk around it. What do we got here? We got some bushes. We got some nice designs. The cool thing about this place is they're saying it's connected to a canal. Some sort of canal. Let's just walk around. And there is a canal over here. It's underground. You see this over here? That used to be a canal under the ground here. And they built over it. We're gonna go check that out too, because the canal systems are important. We're gonna get into canal systems. So look at that staircase. It goes all the way up to that doorway. Why? That door was probably huge for giants, big people. All brick. Yeah, I figured I would check it out. The yellow bricks and the red bricks. Figured I'd cover it because there was a bunch of other historian type people who tried to cover this building, and they could only trace it back to like 1900. They say, this is the thing, they say it was built in 1900. I found pictures of it in 1890 and even looked older than that. So, I don't know, maybe it became a school. I found faculty forms. It tells you how many people were in the school at the time, teachers, students, but it doesn't tell you anything about the students. I was trying to find out. Oh, over here looks much older. Look at this side. Some tires. Look at the bricks on this side. Looks like it was a fight, like in a fire or something on this side. Look, all the windows are like bricked up. You see that? Those used to be windows. Look how big they are. Oh yeah, and then it said it was a two-story building. And then one of the reports it said it was a 3-story building. Well, it looks like a 3-story building to me, but you know what though? I don't know what you would really consider it, because if you look at that, that's the first story, but that's like in the basement. You know, that goes down into the basement. Oops, sorry. It's a gym now. Oh, look, here's another one. Look. Look at this. This is some old brick back here. And look at that. That's how you get into the gym, I guess. All right. Cool. And where does that go up to exactly? Look at that. Oh, there's a door back there, but it really looks like it goes to nowhere. It's the stairs that go to nowhere. Okay. So now I'm gonna make my way over to the canal. Right next door. This place is connected to some sort of underground canal. Let's go look it up. Look at this place across the street. It's closed. It's not even open for business anymore, but it looks to me like, you see where the brick ends? It's red brick, and then there's a house up there. It's almost like that line where the brick ends, where it says food and spirits. That was like the roof, and it was mud flooded, buried under the ground, right? And then they come along, that was like the top floor, and they just built like this house on top of the top floor. You know what I'm saying? And just made 3 more floors on top of the old half buried. This probably goes down, down, down under the ground, like 3 more stories, 4, who knows? Look at these old bricks. Some old bricks. Look at this one. That it's like it's a doorway. Watch this. All right, you ready? It's like Beetlejuice. Knock 3 times. Hello. Okay. Anyway.
Hi, I'm Anthony Sammarco, and I'm the author of Lost Boston. And today we're actually in Sullivan Square in Charlestown, Massachusetts. This is an area that's a thriving crossroads, and you can imagine the amount of traffic here in the 21st century is incredible. One road leads to Everett, another to Medford, a third to Somerville, and a fourth to Boston. But in the period of the late 18th century, this was an area that was adjacent to what would eventually become the Middlesex Canal. Opened in 1803, the Middlesex Canal connected Charlestown and the Merrimack River. So its president, who was named James Sullivan. James Sullivan himself would later serve as the governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts between 1807 and 1808, and of course Sullivan Square is named in his honor. It was also something that actually had a wonderful park in the very center. There was a wonderful circular park with a playing fountain that was actually 17 feet in height that actually attracted people to build row houses. But in the last decade of the 19th century, this area would change dramatically. Henry Melville Whitney, who was the president of the West End Street Railway Company, a company that had streetcars primarily in Brookline, would charter what became known as the Boston Elevated Railway Company. And in the period of the 1890s, it would actually see an elevated railway built connecting Sullivan Square here in Charlestown and Dudley Street in Roxbury. In 1901, the Boston Elevated Railway provided ease of transportation because the train, as an elevated aspect, was above the traffic. So not just did we see pedestrians, horses, horse-drawn carriages, horse-drawn wagons, and streetcars competing for street traffic, but the elevated railway itself would actually be something that would actually arise above the area of City Square, Thompson Square, and of course Sullivan Square. As a result, these girders that supported the elevated railroad tracks was something in some ways that would blight Charlestown throughout the 20th century. And when it was actually taken down, people began to see in some ways that not only was Charlestown revitalized, but there was a demographic shift. In some ways, Charlestown became a thriving neighborhood. Since it was opened in 1901, the Boston Elevated Railway wasn't the only business that was located at Sullivan Square. And today, when we think of Charlestown, we always think of the Schrafft's building, a building where candy was made throughout the 20th century. The building today has become an office park. But Sullivan Square didn't just have Schrafft's, it had Domino Sugar, one of the major suppliers of sugar to the United States, and they also had H.P. Hood Company, a well-known dairy company that was located adjacent to Rutherford Avenue. Charlestown has a rich and ever-evolving history, and it includes not just the Revolution when it was destroyed by fire, and of course the USS Constitution, but Charlestown also has a rich history with the elevated railway, H.P. Hood, Domino, and Revere Sugar Companies, as well as Schrafft's Chocolate.